Is the Ring ecosystem the ecosystem for you? Hey guys, I'm Carl with Dwell Big, and today I want to cover my experience in owning multiple Ring products and being pretty deeply invested into the Ring ecosystem for the past 5+ years now. I got the very original Ring doorbell way back when Ring was really just taking off. They certainly hadn't been acquired by Amazon yet, and the Ring doorbell was the only product that they had available. I invested in it, took a chance with it. It was a pretty hot item at the time, or certainly gaining a lot of popularity. So I purchased it and absolutely fell in love with it and the company, which is kind of a bit of a rarity. So right out of the gate, their app was amazing. The installation process and packaging and everything to do with the device was phenomenal. If you had to contact customer service was phenomenal. It was such a great experience overall. Amazon stayed very hands-off and only really improved the Ring ecosystem. So some improvements are they took what was already an incredible app and just kept making it better. They kept adding features to it. They kept making it faster and more reliable. They've done everything right in that regards, in my opinion. And it's so cool. If you are a Ring owner, you know that every couple months you open your app up and it warns you or gives you a notice that hey, we've added a slew of new features to it, and they're always pretty big hits in my opinion. It's things that I never really necessarily even knew I was missing, but they're always there adding them. So it's really nice to have that size company behind them to be able to do that. They've also drastically expanded their product line, as many of you may know. So we're not talking about just a Ring doorbell anymore. They now have an alarm system. They've got a camera in almost any single configuration that you might need to match your setup, from battery to plug-in to hardwire to ones with lights. They've even got a whole set of just lights out. So they've really expanded their horizons with the product lineup that they have. And lastly, they've really stayed hands-off with the pricing. The devices, if anything, have gotten cheaper. The cloud pricing has either stayed the same or has gotten cheaper, or they've thrown in some better bundling options, things along those lines. So as I said, I have owned Ring products for over 5 years now. I currently have 3 deployed. I started with the original Ring doorbell. I soon went to the Ring Video Doorbell 2. I now actually have, for the doorbell, I have the Ring Video Doorbell Pro. I also have a Ring Spotlight mount and a Ring Spotlight plug-in currently deployed, and all on the cloud subscription service. I can truly honestly say that throughout my entire ownership, dating clear back to the original Ring doorbell, that I can't think of a single instance where something specifically on Ring's side of things has let me down as a user. I don't think I've experienced a single bit of downtime. I don't think I've missed a single video due to a device or a network issue on their end of it. I have had a couple of issues, but it's all been my home network that's directly been at fault. And that's pretty impressive to span 5 devices, 5 years, and not have a single problem with anything on their end of it. So the question you may be asking yourself is, which of these ecosystems of products do I want to give my hard-earned money toward? If you're looking for cameras and security devices in general, who do you go with? I haven't had a ton of experience with other ones. I do have a good little bit with Nest. And to be honest with you, I have never really been happy with Nest as far as talking about cameras and things along those lines specifically. I haven't really been impressed with their options, and I also certainly haven't been impressed with their pricing and setup for their streaming and their cloud service as compared to anything that Ring has to offer. So the only thing I can go off of is my honest experience with Ring over these past 5 years. It's been far from a love-hate relationship, which I find myself having with any other ecosystem or any other device. There's I honestly tried to rack my head to come up with any negatives to say about the ecosystem, even a particular device. If there was ever a shortcoming, they have fixed it and improved and moved forward. The only system out there, in my honest opinion, that would be better than Ring would just be a straight up classic CCTV system where you have hardwired cameras to a DVR setup. That certainly also has its issues and its flaws, but if you have unstable internet where you live, maybe you're in a more rural area where you don't have as high of speed, or it's just you don't have the stability that you need, Ring can certainly give you some fits, and it's nothing on the end of Ring, it's nothing on Ring's fault, it's just not necessarily the system and the setup for you. So what are the best parts of the Ring ecosystem? What really just impresses me with it? What has kept me a customer? What has prompted me to give you guys my honest feedback on it, and why is the honest feedback really so positive? Well, it boils down to a number of things, but one of the absolute biggest for me, and I think it is absolutely critical for a ecosystem like this, is the application. It deserves so many awards, and again, it has been great from the beginning, but they've only kept improving it, and there's no wonky stuff that they do with it. Any new feature they add has been clearly, thoroughly tested, probably asked for by the users. It is just an absolutely flawless app, especially when you compare it to some of the others in this realm. It is extremely fast, responsive. You're certainly not going to miss anything. Again, as long as you have the network speed and such to accommodate it, you're going to be able to pull up even on the go, even across cellular network. You're going to be able to pull up your notifications, who's at your door, who's in your backyard. You're going to be able to pull that stuff up really fast. Another thing they have done, and this kind of really took place obviously after Amazon acquired them, but they have really ramped up their integration into the Echo system and a lot of other smart home devices and features. For example, on the Echo Show, you're able to ask her to show you any of your cameras by name, and very quickly she will pull them up and you can see live time. She also will give you notifications if somebody's at your door. She can also give you motion notification if you choose to set those up. So next up on the ecosystem is obviously the devices, because if they're not good, then who cares about the app? Who cares about Amazon's integration? The devices themselves are incredible. I do not want to get too far into the weeds of getting into device specs and details. We can do those on some other videos if you guys want. But like I said, I have owned 5 different camera products, 3 doorbells and 2 of just the regular cameras. And I certainly haven't had a problem, as I've mentioned, with a single one of them. They're all very robust, very weatherproof. I've actually accidentally pressure washed a number of them way too close and way too much pressure, and I'm not recommending you do that, but they have withstood that, luckily. So the app is phenomenal. The smart home and Amazon integration is great, and the devices themselves are obviously very, very good devices across the board. But what else would make you want to invest in this ecosystem or invest further into this ecosystem? In my opinion, the abundance of products certainly should be a factor. The fact that, they have a camera for basically every single scenario you might have. They have a doorbell. They've got a peephole camera now. They've got lighting, specific lighting only options that they have. They have their whole alarm system, which is incredibly robust with options for every house setup. So, that has to be, in my opinion, a really big factor if you're going to invest in this ecosystem. The next feature that has to be considered is the pricing. The device pricing is very fair. It's on par with everybody else, or it's actually oftentimes cheaper when you apples to apples compare devices and the ecosystems as a whole. Next would have to be the cloud pricing. And that's where I think that Ring certainly starts to pull ahead, because I think it's a very fair pricing. There's a price point where you just get unlimited cameras and devices after that. And I think the pricing is very fair for what you get, not to mention how awesome their cloud system is. It keeps your video recordings for 60 days, and it's unlimited during those 60 days. So if you have non-stop motion that you're recording, it will record and store in the cloud reliably and accurately for 60 days every single video, regardless of the length. They're now doing also snapshots. You can do snapshots every minute. That's another feature they have added somewhat recently. And that kind of leads me to my last and final point, which is just the company that is behind this ecosystem. You are getting nonstop innovation. They haven't just thrown a product out there and forgot about it, don't care about it. They are constantly making it better. They make the app better by the day. They make the devices better. And it's pretty impressive when you already started with something so good that they just keep adding onto it and just keep making it better. You have a really, really, really good customer support team as a result as well. You also have good solutions, good warranties. It just really, it's a peace of mind investing in the Ring ecosystem. And again, I wanted to keep this video very specific to the ecosystem, but if you want to see reviews on any of those particular devices, if you want more in depth on the app or the cloud hosting or any of that, please feel free to drop it in the comments below. I will do a video on whatever you guys are interested to see that's Ring related. It's very rare that you can own a suite of products and be happy with it for over 5 years. That's 5 devices, 5 years. I don't have enough good things to say about them because I've never experienced that before. I've never experienced something where, you're as happy with it or more happy with it today as you were day one 5 years ago. I don't regret getting into this ecosystem at all. And again, seeing what I've seen from some other ones and how you have to set up their cloud hosting, and I truly believe that Ring is the way to go. Now, if you're already heavily invested in Nest or others, then maybe it's not worth the switch. But if you have no devices, or you have like a few Ring devices and you're considering getting more, please don't hesitate to do so. In my honest opinion, it is well worthwhile. You certainly will have peace of mind knowing that you have reliability in your home security. You have reliability in your investment, knowing that the company is certainly never going away. They're never abandoning the products. They are actually actively improving everything about the ecosystem on a monthly basis, it seems like. I'm Carl. Thank you guys for watching Dwell Big. And again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please drop them down below. If you like this video, please maybe consider taking a minute to subscribe. We are going to start bringing non-stop home content to you. Reviews such as this one, in-depth product reviews. We're going to have a lot of DIY projects, building, you name it. So if any of that, anything home related sounds appealing to you, please maybe take a minute to subscribe. If you like the video, maybe also give this video a like. We appreciate it, guys. Dwell big wherever you may be. Thanks.